Hi, I'm Khrystyna Klimash, and you are on a podcast, Build a Digital Product, where we speak about the technologies that can boost your business here and now. And our today's guest is Eric Brody. He is an accomplished builder and developer in New York City with nearly 2 decades of experience in the mid-market multifamily sector. Eric has developed approximately 800 real estate units across New York City, which now total nearby $1 billion. Now Eric Brody is the founder and principal at Anax Real Estate Partners, a New York City-based real estate capital advisory firm. Hello, Eric.
Hello. And thank you for having me today on your wonderful, wonderful podcast. I truly appreciate you finding me and wanting to communicate with me. Thank you so much.
You've been in the industry for 21 years. About 2 years ago, you founded Anax Real Estate Partners.
Damn, that is a long time.
Would you describe your path to creating a killer value proposition that helps you thrive in your niche now?
Yeah, so look, the reality is I would have been a mid-market developer forever, but circumstances change. And it's not always what people don't perceive. When you fall, it's how you stand back up. So Anax is actually like the phoenix rising out of the ashes of development and construction in New York. Okay. So you asked a specific question. Well, what's the niche? What makes you different, right? How can you create a new successful business? So there's sort of 4 things that we like to look at that makes us different. So first and foremost, we are a capital advisory firm. What does that mean? That means that those who have asset-backed real estate need capital for that project. What do they need? Debt, equity, co-GP, pref, mezz, senior. It doesn't matter. Just money to then execute on a real estate project. So there's 4 things that we say we have a niche for. So the first one is in the real world. We built and developed 40 projects. So those are different. So development means having a vision, acquiring a site, getting it designed, retaining a contractor, executing that business plan, and then hoping that you're either renting it, reselling it, condos. It depends on what the business plan is. So we actually did it. We were the responsible parties. So when you're dealing with real estate, many people want to know that you've had the experience. So we, had the experience. We were the developers. The second thing that we have an advantage is we actually built buildings. We were the general contractors. We were required to look at those drawings, come up with a price to execute that project, and then to find the subcontractors in order to execute it, manage that process, and finish these buildings. So those 2 things. So we built, we developed. The third thing is finance, understanding of the financial markets, understanding the returns required to the capital that wants to invest into the real estate. So we have a finance background. Not only did we do 40 projects of our own, we studied finance, whether it was through books, through, as Elon Musk would say, first order principles. We understand finance. And the 4th thing, and I think this is the secret sauce, is we created a venture capital fund in the real estate and tech space. Why? We think that there is an advantage by using technology in the laggard real estate space. So we started a venture fund. We were investing into tech. We created a podcast talking about real estate and technology so that we could create an ecosystem around us of technologists to help us apply their strategies to real estate. So under the hood of our business is a lot of bionic pieces and technologies that we use to create efficiencies. So those are our 4 sort of ways that we have an advantage in the space.
Talking about providing your services at Anax Real Estate Partners, I'm curious, are there modern tools and techniques that you and your colleagues use to deliver results for your clients that you didn't use in the real estate industry, let's say 5 years ago?
Oh my God, everything. Like, it's not even a question, right? If you think about it, real estate in the mid-market space, and that's where I was, we would call that if there was a comet, the tail of the comet, right? The long tail of the comet. You're so busy trying to execute on real estate that you don't even understand the technology that's available in order to assist you. So you have to stop your real estate space, go learn a new subject matter called technology, learn what that means, how technologists think about it, what programs and apps and things that are available, and then apply them to real estate in a way that makes sense to your real estate brain. Extremely difficult. Very hard to do. Only the largest companies who have air to breathe, publicly traded companies, companies that have teams of innovation can even pay attention to the technology space. Well, luck or unlucky, when we were hurt in the real estate space due to coronavirus and rising interest rates, we had time. We studied the technology space. We learned the companies that were trying to attack it. Then we looked under the hood to those technologies that they were actually using in what's considered technology. So what do you do in order to apply that to real estate? And that's the secret sauce. So in real estate, you have we call it a architectural floor plan or architectural drawings, which is basically the infrastructure of a building that tells the story of that building. You have to do the same thing for technology. What is your daily life or use case or case study in your business today? What repetitive tasks are there? How are you finding customers? What is the basis of your business? Then you look at what technology can help you with those repetitive tasks. So technology's problem with real estate is they went to the real estate professionals and didn't meet them where they were. Real estate doesn't understand tech. And these technologists would come to them and say, we're going to change your universe. We are going to show you a new way and you are going to be 1,000 times better. That is a sale of BS because the reality is technology can help you with specific efficiencies. So here's how I look at it. If your real estate process is A to Z every day, there's certain things right now, it's all humans, right? Whether it's sending an email or having a phone call, all human service interaction. The question is, where can you type in or plug in technology to create automations along that alphabet? Maybe A to C could be an automation, and then D, E, F is a human, and then G to I is an automation. So for us, we look at it that way. We created what we call a wireframe, which is like an architectural drawing, defining what we do each day in real estate speak. We then took that and tried to apply some of the redundancies and workflows in tech speak. And then you try to merge them together. So in the simplest thing that people are talking about is using AI, right? But AI is strictly being used as a language model to write emails. Well, that's not really creating an efficiency, right? So you're like, okay, I can apply AI, but is that really creating something that's efficient? So what my partner and I do is we look at what we're doing throughout our day and then look for automations on that to create an efficiency, because we believe in Sam Altman, the guy who did ChatGPT, that there will be a one-person company that will be worth $1 billion. But we don't look at it like that. We think that we will have lower overhead, less humans, and then drive revenue higher. So specific technologies, we use database technologies. Why? Because databases is a way of getting clean data about every human or any company that's in your business. If you can automate the variability of a company, right? If you look at our space, for example, we have a marketplace. Borrowers, people who need capital, and capital. It doesn't matter because capital, they create a box as to what they're going to invest into. If that box has 10 variables or 100 variables, who cares? A database can handle 10 variables or 100 variables. So we create databases every time we interact with somebody. We don't ever lose an interaction. So whether it's a phone call, an email, Google Meets, Zoom, every single one of them we track, we then upload, we then put into our database. Then on the borrower side, or the ones who need capital, what are they building? Where? Region? It doesn't matter to us. That goes into a database. And with that data, there's so many things that you can do with it. You can market to that. You can match that. There's different things that you can do. Then we use a bunch of CRMs that are attached to our database, right? So that every record that we have, we can create campaigns and we can market to, and we can have touch points. Then it's technology allows us to be sort of top of mind. We use content creation and social media, right? None of what I'm stating is deep tech, neural networks, high complex tech. It's understanding what tech has already provided to analogous industries and then applying them to the real estate game because it's still a laggard space.
Let's discuss the application of modern technologies in real estate. Do you have real-life experience of how AI or AR has changed processes within the industry? In a recent article, you pondered whether AI is going to be the death of reception. So, will AI eventually eliminate the need for human receptionists?
Okay, so first, I think that we talk in absolutes and make everything binary. It's AI or receptionist, right? Like it's like if there's AI, there's no reception. But what about if I said to you that the receptionist role, whatever the most important task was, so that repetitive tasks could be handled by AI, and then when you needed that human interaction and that human feeling was where then that person was. So let's say they created 2% efficiency in their day. Is it worth using AI? If it was 4% efficiency, is it worth using AI? In my opinion, life is about millimeters and milliseconds of advantage. So if you can find in using AI that gives that person a 1% advantage, you should be using it. Will it take over the receptionist? I don't think that that's the question to be asking. We'll create an efficiency to the receptionist. So will it one day? Like, I don't predict the future. But in this moment, if it gives them an advantage, then I would be implementing it. That's how I perceive it.
Yes, absolutely. I've noticed in many hotels that they now offer automatic check-in, so you don't need to speak to anyone or ask for help to check in. It's a form of automation in the hotel industry. I think we will probably see this become even more common in the future.
Yeah, it'll be less, right? So now you've gotten rid of a receptionist. So maybe you retained another maintenance person so that the service and the cleanliness is greater, right? So like, it's like if you can reduce over here, maybe you can provide a greater service over there. So that to me is the efficiency of it all. We have a smaller company and we are doing massive deals because we don't have as many humans required because repetitive tasks that you would have retained a human in the past, we have now automated, so that the humans that are working can be right at the moment that they actually are needed in order to get a deal done instead of doing repetitive tasks. So I think that the hotel industry is looking at it the same. And if you perceive technology that way, that it's slight advantages here along the process, you wind up being like Tesla, which basically said, we're going to make the car driving experience certain percentage points better. Still a car, still has four wheels, still have to open a door and get in it. But along the way, there were efficiencies along the way. And in addition, they're picking up data, right? So the question is, create an efficiency, pick up that data. What do you learn from that data? And now your company has a feedback loop. How do you constantly get better every day? Every day. It's always in front of you. The data is telling you. The data is telling you. So you create those efficiencies. So you have to create a feedback loop so you can get information to get better and better. Then you ask tech, how can I create that feedback loop? And that's another way of looking at technology.
What areas within property technology do you see as having the most potential for innovation?
So that also, to me, I have a thesis on it. So historically and in the past, and then we saw that it was a failure, was technologists were trying to sell their technology to multiple parties in real estate. Okay. They said, oh, we have this product for this audience. And real estate looked at it and said, well, we're spending money and you can't prove to us why we're making more money. Real estate is a very rigid mindset. You show me, I pay for this, you show me how I made more money, right? Like the proof is in the pudding. And technology was like, well, we'll get better and we'll teach all of you. Well, that failed because the valuations of those tech companies plummeted 80%. And the investment into those tech companies was down 80%. So they got hurt with that thesis. So I look at it differently. And I wouldn't say that technologist, say, hey, technologist, you're super smart, but you don't know exactly what you're going to solve for. You need to be in the industry, get some domain expertise, and then figure out how you can create tech to solve that problem. And then I would say you should be the real estate company, show that tech gives that advantage. And then when you can sell this real estate company and underneath it is tech. Instead of saying I'm a tech company and trying to get these massive returns, I would say start your own real estate business once you understand, apply those technologies, and then prove your thesis that tech is what gave you the advantage.
That's true. Let's talk a bit about the promotion of your services. A few days ago, your name was mentioned in the New York Real Estate Journal, which is truly impressive. There you said that this journal helped your company improve brand awareness within the industry. You also have a developed website with numerous videos showcasing your investments and services. Additionally, you have a vast LinkedIn community, Instagram, podcast, and other channels. Among everything mentioned, what do you see as the top ways to promote real estate services right now?
Okay, so let's first and foremost all agree that we are all stuck on our smartphone in order to find data about what's going on in the universe. We are slaves to our phone, right? I mean, and what is it? It is just staring at our phones, getting information from these different places that you discussed. So first and foremost, you need to be there. How are you getting through the noise for your real estate services if you don't even exist there, right? We are all marketing companies today. You and I know that if you are a marketing company, your service may not be the best, but you will have a massive business because if you can get in front of people, that's top of funnel and you can drive deal flow. Right? So we realized that. We realized that when we started creating content and started to create opportunities. So top of funnel, so that people are at top of mind, you need to be creating content and put that content across all distribution channels. So if we all agree that we are marketing companies that then sell a product or then sell a service, you need to be a marketing company first. That means you need to be creating content and getting it out there. So with that thesis, we just found that we were really good at promoting that message. So everything that you stated is in an effort to be top of mind at all times, so that in the moment of decision making about thinking about capital, you think about us. So how do you do that? Create content and post it across channels. If you're not doing it, you're doing a disservice to your company. It's an unfortunate, necessary evil today. So why are we on the podcast? Say the message again. Maybe somebody new finds us. Maybe we're reinforcing a message of people. You don't know, but we know it works because we are driving so many leads through all of these channels to us. Now, the second thing that I find that content does, which I find to be a fascinating change, is everyone talks about relationships and building those relationships, right? And your network, your net worth is tied to your network, right? How do you exponentially drive those relationships or reinforce them? Well, if you create content and people perceive that they know you, I don't know what you watch and what type of podcast you like, but if you met the principal of that podcast, I'm not sure you'd say to them, hey, is your name Bob or Jim or, Khrystyna? You would be like, oh my God, I like what you do, blah, blah, blah. You'd already feel as if you had rapport in a conversation. So you take somebody that's cold and you make them warm. So it's just driving them down the funnel. So the more that you're out there projecting this message, the more content people can perceive, and then they perceive a relationship with you. It gets you in the front door.
Yes, that makes sense. And when you mentioned this, it made me realize that when I follow someone on Instagram or other social media platforms, I sometimes feel like I know them as a friend. If I happen to see them on the street, I feel the urge to talk to them because to me, they seem as close as my real friends.
Let's say even less than that. Let's say it made 1% of a closer connection. That's 1% better, right? This idea that it's 100% better or that it's much better. Like, I don't know if any of that's relevant because everything is a tipping point. Maybe that 1% is all you needed. So that to me is more than enough motivation to create that content. You have to. It should be a part of your business. And it shouldn't be that you're like, oh, I'm not good at that. That's just an excuse. You have to.
When I was actually preparing for this interview, I was really impressed with the energy you radiate and the persuasiveness of your communication. I even wanted to participate in some of your projects. So I'm just curious, could you share what helps you to stay so determined, active, and successful in achieving such remarkable accomplishments?
Well, first and foremost, as the blind Zen master says, we'll see about your accomplishments. I don't want to get into the psychology of what it was like when I was a child and perceiving that I'm not enough. That drives me to just continue to attempt to succeed and to continue to succeed. But let's talk about communication. All right, let's just talk about it. So first and foremost, repetition, right? Yes, I went to college and in school, I learned and took classes on the theory and practice of persuasion, argumentation, and debate. So the idea of verbal communication is obviously extremely important. But what is it really? Humans want to hear a story. You have to be able to tell a story, and that's what gets them excited to want to either invest or to communicate with you. So you have to be a great storyteller, right? To be engaging, to, specific ways of communicating. But at the end of the day, it's repetition. So when you're in junior high school or whatever, elementary school, or whatever you call it in either of your countries, you should always be trying to embarrass yourself by having to communicate in front of people. You should be taking acting class and drama because the way in which you're communicating today is verbally and it's visual. So you need to be good at that, right? You literally do. Like maybe it'd be even better to hire a drama student today and then teach them business would have a higher value than someone who knows business who's terrible on camera. It's just a theory. But how do you do it? Repetition. Every time that you have a fear of speaking in front of others, you have to embrace that fear that everyone is scared, right? And then you actually do it. And being able to do it when you are scared, because the reality is we're all scared and we're all doing it, is called courage. You must be courageous. So my point is anytime you could speak in front of people, take it. We're all scared. It sucks, but you get better and better and better and better. So that to me, it was just repetition, always raising my hand when I felt uncomfortable. Hey, who wants to try to sell this product? I'll try. You failed. Then you learn a little bit more. Who wants to do this speech? I'll do it. In Eastern European culture, let's say and I believe that you are from Eastern Europe. Am I right? Okay, so Ukrainian. So there is a cultural phenomenon in the Ukraine that when people are sitting around and they are having drinks, they will raise a toast to that person's birthday or to that person's anniversary, whatever it is. You make sure every time that you do that because it's the same thing. You're in front of people, you could be embarrassed, and you're trying to say something thoughtful and meaningful. Just keep taking the risk.
Yes, so right now I will ask you flash questions and you need to pick the one. Are you ready? Multifamily homes or condos?
Today, homes.
Day or night?
Day.
Working with a $20 million or $200 million deals?
200 million.
Podcast talk or investment negotiation?
Investment negotiation.
Little Italy or Chinatown?
Little Italy.
Do you like Italian cuisine actually?
No, I was thinking more about investing. I just think that Little Italy will have more room to pop.
So thank you very much for coming to our show today. It was nice to have you on this chat. Hit the like and subscribe button to not skip the following episodes. Bye!